タビューです。メタリカもですね、コンサート2019年ワールドツアー途中でやめましたよね。ちょっとあれはジェームス・ヘッドフィールドのメンタルヘルスの問題もあったんではないかと思われますが、後のインタビューでラーズも少しずつ語ってくれるんですが、その他には様々なイベントがありましてね、自分たちのチャリティーコンサート、それから、彼のデビューの企画を作ったメガホースレコードの、オーナーのジョニー・ジーと奥さんのマーシャが亡くなり追悼コンサートをフロリダでやったりとか、いろいろそのニューアルバムにつながってくる伏線のライブはこうやってきたわけですが、実際この72 Seasons どういうアルバムなのかはもうすでにね発売になりました。皆さんね聞いてみてください。いろんなメディアでも伝えられているように、ジェームスがある本を読んでですね、72の季節、つまり、1年は4つの季節ですから18歳までですよね。最も多感な時期に家庭の環境やあるいは社会的な環境の中で18歳になるまでの若者が、どういうその、人間になっていくのか、そしてそれは大人になってそれは引きずっていくものなのか、あるいは変化するものなのかって非常にねディープなテーマが含まれていますが、それはジェームスの家庭環境だとかね、育ってきたそういったものっていうのが背景にあると思うんでね。だけどポイントはこの3年間のパンデミックの中で世界中の誰しもが暗闇の中から光を見つけて、その出口に向かって行進を始めた、それをメタリカが代弁しているってことです。こちらをご覧ください。ニューアルバム完成して今リリースを待ってるところですか？今の気持ちはどうですか
？2 weeks, it's coming. We're very excited to finally get it out there. 2 years in the making, given birth to in the lockdown. We've had 3 songs out there so far. The first three tracks released to the world, and the response has been fantastic, very positive. I'm so excited to get this out there and share it with the fans, but even more so, I'm excited that it still exists, that Metallica still exists, and that we can make records, and that we can continue to have a purpose and to feel that we're still making music, and that's connecting to people out there. So that side of it is really exciting. I think coming out of the lockdown and the uncertainties of that, there were so many questions about how music can make a difference to an audience, and obviously to the people creating it. But now this album's here, and it's time to celebrate in 2 weeks of the release, so we're very excited. Thank you for asking.
ロックダウンの最中も曲作りとかいろいろやってたと思いますけども、ネガティブにならずポジティブな気持ちをずっとキープできていたわけですか？
There was a lot of uncertainty. I was sitting in this very chair in front of this computer for those year and a half or however long it was, and not really knowing what was going on. I don't think anybody in up to 2020, I don't think anybody slowed down long enough to really prepare themselves for this type of an event. So when it came and the whole world went into lockdown in the beginning of 2020, nobody knew what to do with that. No, there was no playbook, there was no guide on how to deal with that mentally and physically, and obviously people all over the world, millions, hundreds of millions of people were in way worse shape than we were, but we still felt very lost, and felt that we had no what purpose could we contribute to this, what purpose could we serve in terms of music and Metallica. So we tried to put events together that all the fans all over the world could connect to, and as we did a reinterpretation of the song Blackened 2020, that started giving us a sense of what we could do to make music in all four of us in different spaces and in 5 different spaces with Greg Fiddleman, if you count him in. And then that slowly gave birth to us starting to think about new music, new material, and how we as Metallica could make a difference in this incredibly and unprecedented uncertain time.
ニューアルバムの特徴はとても生々しいってことじゃないですか。生々しい音で若々しい音っていうのは一つのキーワードになると思うんです。その辺どうですか？
Thank you. Yes, that would be right. I think when I hear this record, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of just up temp. You know, in the music, there's a lot of just very relentless energy and manic craziness in there. It wasn't necessarily that was the mission or the intention. I think this record started off with a little less of a goal or mission statement, and the idea was, let's just write the best songs that we can and see what comes out of us. In the past, when we've made records, there has been more of a specific goal or mission statement in mind, but this time the music just kind of came out of us, and it felt like our job was to not get in the way of that, so to speak. But I think it's over the 75 minutes when I hear this record front to back, there's a lot of energy and a relentlessness in it that I really like, and it kind of puts a smile on my face. So it feels like so far from what I can tell from the audience and the fans that they're responding well to the energy of it. And I've done interviews now for 2 weeks, and I'm hearing the same feedback from a lot of journalists, other parts of the world, who are really responding well to the energy and the relentlessness of it.
それはなぜそういうそのピュアなパッションが4人のメンバーから出てきたんだと思いますか？
I think well, part of the reason is we love being in Metallica, and we love Metallica, and we cherish Metallica, and we want to be the best Metallica possible, and I guess that 40 years later, to still be able to make music together and to still be able to make a difference is something that we're we cherish so much, and something that we're so respectful of. So I think that in the past there were times where we were more weary about there was so much internal differences and so much negative energy within the band members that writing songs and going to the studio was often kind of like not something that we really wanted to do, because it was so exhausting. But now, with this record, and certainly, as we get older, there's less and less infighting, there's less and less disagreements, there's some less and, this record we made, I think, without any arguments. Nobody was shouting or yelling or doing anything crazy. There was no, posturing or my way. It was basically nothing of that. And so I think ultimately that joy of going to the studio and creating this music shows up in the energy and the passion. Passion shows up in there somewhere. And like I've I've said, this may be the most friction-free record Metallica has ever made internally between the band members. I think there's been enough documented over the years about how we made records. The Black Album was a very difficult record to make. A lot of the albums with Bob Rock, not because of Bob Rock, but just because of where we were at as people at the time, where we were having a hard time working in a collective environment. And I think now we're so much more appreciative and respectful and love each other in a different way now. I mean, we've always loved each other, cared for each other, but I think now we're very protective of those relationships because we want to make sure that they are that they sustain through every experience that we have, and we come out the other side fully intact. That is, I